Above the Rim tells the story of a high school basketball player who is torn between pursuing ball in college or the quick money of streetball.
First of all, let's address the cast, okay? The cast in this movie is really good. The acting itself is not that great, as I've talked about in the previous basketball movie reviews I've done, but again, in sports movies, you don't really require the acting to be great. You just kind of want the actors to fit the characters that they're playing naturally. The more they fit those characters, the less great acting there has to be. So the acting in this movie is not great, but most of the cast fits their characters really well. The best actor in this movie is probably played by Tonya Pinkins, who plays Kyle Watson's, Dwayne Martin's mom. She's probably the best actor in the movie, and that's evident when you see her acting in scenes with Dwayne Martin, because he is not a very good actor. He's pretty young in this movie, and I have never heard of him prior to seeing him in this movie. But again, it's okay because he plays the character so well. I can't imagine anyone else playing this role. And he just fits his character so well that I don't mind him not being a great actor. When it comes to Leon, I always felt like there was something off there about him playing that character. I don't know of another actor for that role that I would prefer to see, but I just feel like it's not exactly right. I do think that there must have been a better option for them to have in that character in terms of the acting. Not that the acting is bad, it just feels like something somehow is missing when it comes to the acting. But the question is, in terms of Leon, could they have found another good basketball player to play that role who could also act decently well? And I don't know that there was such a candidate. In terms of Marlon Wayans playing Boogaloo, the kind of funny sidekick and friend to Kyle Watson, this is one of the reasons I'm not objective about this movie, because Marlon Wayans is probably my favorite comedic actor. And that's not to say I think he's a great comedic actor, and certainly not the greatest comedic actor. He just happens to be my subjective favorite, because I think his comedic sensitivity and his sense of humor very much mirrors my own. So I relate to him. Because I relate to him, he's my favorite. One of the reasons he's my favorite is because whenever he's playing just a regular everyday guy and not some kind of wacky character like in White Chicks or anything like that, when he's just playing sort of like an everyday guy and he's still being funny and silly, one of the reasons he's my favorite is because you really feel like that's just sort of part of his personality. Like, that's who he is. He's funny, he's silly, he likes to make fun of situations, and he's not putting on an act. That's just who he is, like, in everyday life. That's how it comes across on screen when you see him, that he's just a funny, fun-loving guy. And because of that, whenever he displays any other kind of emotion besides being funny and silly, when he's angry or sad, you really feel like it's genuine coming from him, because it's such a contrast and a departure from his usual funny, silly character. When he's emotional, you really feel that, and it really comes across, and that's one of the reasons he's one of my favorite actors, and especially comedic actors. And then we have Tupac, another reason I'm not objective about this movie, because him being in this movie really puts it over the top for me, because he is my favorite rapper of all time. Again, in the same kind of vein where I don't think Marlon Wayans is the greatest comedic actor of all time,